Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another analysis. Raila Odinga is now camping in Mount Kenya in a move as that is seen part of his political strategy to at least galvanize a chunk of support from the central Kenya. So something that has been so contentious is a decision by Jubilee aspirants not putting Raila's name or photo in their posters and billboards. And personally, I really appreciated that move because it was one way to make sure that they can galvanize their support around Jubilee Party. Raila is not a candidate that needed introduction in central Kenya, and that is why the first attempt to climb the mountain, he was alone. In this second attempt, he's also going it alone. And he mentioned that he does not need introduction. However, President Uhuru Kenyatta have now asked the Jubilee aspirants that they integrate Raila's campaign messaging alongside their campaigns when they're campaigning, they're seeking their votes. So what is happening is that while Raila was meeting grassroots leaders in Kiambu, Murang'a, and Nyeri, Peter Kenneth was telling the aspirants that they should not shy away from putting the name and the symbol of Raila Odinga in their campaign posters and even in the billboards. Now, it went to the extent that some of them, or they were told, that Jubilee Party is going to bankroll aspirants in Mount Kenya. And remember, this was a pledge that the president gave to the aspirants in a closed meeting in State House. But I think last week on Friday, it's 2 weeks, barely a week from now, the other week. Yes, it was last week, the week the president, Mwai Kibaki, was being buried. I traveled and I was in Nakuru for really like, I had a stopover. I was coming from home and I had a stopover in Nakuru for like 1 hour. And I spotted 3 posters that captured my attention. One was Lee Kinyanjui. There is a billboard that is just past Naivas before you reach this hotel known as the Wagon Wheel Hotel. So past in between there is a billboard that is just past that Naivas that Lee Kinyanjui had already put the Raila's R symbol in that billboard. 1, 2, he also used the slogan Inawezekana in that billboard. Then hapo chini there were the development projects that he has achieved as the governor. So I spotted that. Then also on your way, it is the Nakuru West side, because it is the Nakuru West that connects with the Naivasha and the Gilgil side. I also spotted another one by an aspirant known as, someone known as Joel Karibu, Nakuru West. It's in Nakuru West, I think. Now there was the photo of Joel Karibu on this side, then there was the other one of Raila Odinga on the other side, and with the name, with the symbol R and Inawezekana. So that, I spotted that too. Then also in Nairobi, Amos Mwago, Starehe MP seeking the seat through Jubilee Party, has also put Raila Odinga's image in his billboard, and that billboard is actually in the CBD. So I was talking to my good friend Poti, who stays in Nakuru, and he was telling me that what's happening in Nakuru is that UDA is prominent, yes, is dominant, but this time with the Nakuru West side and the Naivasha side, Azimio is having a chunk of support, and that is why that is happening. But then he was also telling me, because I think he stays in this other side, he has traversed all that side because he's a lecturer in Laikipia University. And so something that he pointed out to me was that the place is a bit, now there is a bit an element of competition. But then I also spotted there is also an aspirant called Wangare, I think it's Martha, yes. And she's seeking Bahati parliamentary seat facing off the Onesmus Ngujiri. And she was also putting Raila's R in her billboard. There is also such a billboard. Now, the senator, the one for Stanley Karanja, and there is also another one for Lawrence, who is seeking Senate. Those ones did not bear Raila's symbol. So, of course, this is something that I've already started. Now, if you're keen, you realize that the aspirants in urban centers are already embracing Raila's R symbol. This is a very key element because, as I mentioned, in my political analysis, I put keen interest on messaging. And messaging is not exclusively what politicians are saying on rallies, but what is happening on ground. One of the tools of political messaging is the posters and the billboards. By the way, they are the most effective in creating a perception in the eyes of voters compared to what politicians shout on top of the cars. So that has been happening. Now in this video, I want us to look at how these aspirants embracing Raila Odinga's candidature in that campaign tool is going to help neutralize Raila phobia. That is what is happening because the issue is people fear Raila. Now, I want us to look at that. Kindly, if you're watching this video and have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, click the notification bell and notification just above the subscription button, and also give us like our video. When you like our video, the rating increases, and also give us a feedback. Why do you think the president has finally made that declaration? And do you think that aspirants, if you put Raila's image in your poster, you're likely to lose against UDA? I want us to ask ourselves that question now. If you're staying within Nairobi and its environs, that is Kiambu, Machakos, and Kitengela, or even you're putting a house in upcountry and you experience frequent blackouts, then Instalight have a solution for you: power backup system. Yeah, amazing. You need to check out and reach them out. They have packages from 125,000 to 195,000 depending on what suits your need. The good news in them is that they're the only company that can integrate the solar power with your water heating system so that it can minimize your electricity bill nearly to zero. What an amazing solution you need to find out for yourself. I want you to talk to Gidiomi because he's going to give you more information about this. Gidiomi's number is 0722818883. I want to read it slowly. 0722818883. Yes, and of course, make it clear that this is from Kevin Oduor. When aspirants in Mount Kenya start putting Raila's image and the symbol R in their posters, it is going to make the voters validate the calls to support Raila Odinga. You know, in the national TV, the national conversation, or even the analysis that we do in the YouTube, and there is that rallying call that Raila is going to get 40% from Gema, and we've treated this to a percentage. But I think to get the physical numbers, for Raila Odinga to get the physical numbers, he needs the voters to validate that move. Otherwise, for a voter, for example, someone staying in Nyeri, only seeing in TVs when the leaders are arguing the national television on percentages, this person doesn't get it. If down there, a Jubilee aspirant cannot put the image of Raila Odinga. So that is going to be critical to validate the support in Uhuru Kenyatta's support for Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, that could be there, but there is also another constituency that this move is going to convince. Now, there are people who are not Kikuyus, but they stay in Kikuyu-dominated counties. Let's look at Nairobi. Let's look at Machakos. let's look at Kiambu. Now, these three counties, Kiambu is cosmopolitan, especially the thicker side. So there are people who stay there who are not Kikuus. Even in Nairobi, it's a mixture of all. Now, for you to convince the rest of the country that, look here, we are supporting Raila Odinga, so you also need to support us, you need to do that. Because for an aspirant to win a seat in Thika town, that aspirant will have to get the vote of the Central Kenya, the Kikuyu community there, and a bit of Luya, a bit of Luo, Kamba, and all that. Now, when they are seen as supporting Raila Odinga, they are most likely possible to attract votes from all areas. Look at an area like Kiambu. Kiambu is having almost all tribes there. So when they see, so like for example, the other communities that support Raila there, and they see that then fully these people are supporting Raila Odinga, that is going to boost the basket, and that is why it is very critical. But then, I draw this from Nakuru and Central Kenya. You know, the truth of the matter to be here is, the moment William Ruto started campaigning in Central Kenya, he postured as the Central Kenya kingpin. And he introduced the wave, the Hustler Nation. And Hustler Nation synced in there. Then when Raila joined the presidential race last year in December, that's when now people started having an option. Okay, Raila is vying, but is he also an option here? But when these candidates embrace Raila Odinga's candidature, it's going to introduce an element of competition, or rather a perception of competition. What I'm saying is this, the voters that already maybe that had decided we're going to vote for William Ruto will now be thinking, okay, we have another option in the name of Raila Odinga. Now, that element of competition will bring what I normally mention as Central Kenya consciousness. By the way, for Raila to win the votes there, for the Azimio team to win the votes there, they don't need Raila to capture the to need the mountain. What they need is a Central Kenya consciousness. That look here, it's not about Raila phobia. Raila is not the mganga that you guys know. So that will be something that I see as a good as a good strategy to bring in the element of competition. But lastly, there is the voting demographic from Central Kenya that do not support Raila. That is the youth. Truth be told, that group is not very comfortable with Raila. Not because they hate Raila, but because there was already an alternative that was given to them. And the alternative was William Ruto. And they were not, William Ruto was not packaged to them as the best candidate, but it was packaged to them as someone who was betrayed by their boss. So they support William Ruto not because William Ruto is good, but they support William Ruto because they feel he was betrayed by Uhuru. So that voting demographic is going to be reached by the grassroots aspirants. The elderly are supporting Raila Odinga. The middle class are supporting Raila Odinga. But the voting community between 18 years to 28 years seems to be inclined towards deputy president. Now, when these Jubilee aspirants go to campaign and they integrate Raila's campaign agenda in their campaigns, that is going to reach that voting bloc. As to whether they're going to turn to vote for Raila Odinga or not, it is a test of time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my analysis.